CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Off the top, it is a next weather alert day. We are tracking the timing of storms moving through our area right now. Let's get right to next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler timing it all out. Cindy.
Been pretty busy so far this afternoon. These storms have now made it into the metro area, and we actually are going to see these storms move off the coast probably in the next 2 hours. So we're going to keep that alert going until 6 o'clock this evening. We've had no warnings so far, but there's a lot of lightning, could be some gusty winds and small hail. That's going to be the major threat with them. This cluster now has moved off from Pembroke Pines up to Hollywood, the I-95 area, so that's going to be slow going there. And another cluster that has now moved into Doral, Sweetwater area, right along 41. So we're going to see these showers and storms. They're moving to the southeast at 30 miles per hour, so there's quite a bit of rain, heavy rain here. But really, it's this cluster here now that has moved into Hialeah, Miami Springs, right across 826. If you have folks that are trying to get home from work right now, it's going to be a slow go on those interstates and those roads. But these storms are moving at a pretty good pace, zipping out of here. But a couple of signatures that could indicate some small hail. Davie, just to the west of I-95, Pembroke Pines area, it would be small hail, pea-sized hail, if anything at all. But these storms have really created a lot of lightning this afternoon. So there is some cold air aloft that's trying to move in here. So look at all the lightning, especially Pembroke Pines, Fort Lauderdale, Davie, over to Hollywood and just north of Hard Rock Stadium, and all tracking off to the east-southeast, anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. So probably in the next couple of hours, most of these storms will be off the coast. So this is an afternoon event. The frontal system has moved through. Winds are trying to turn now. We haven't seen real gusty winds at this point. Right now, 21 mile per hour at Homestead. Miami's not even getting any gusts, but 32 in the Fort Lauderdale area. Winds have turned to the westerly direction. They will turn to the northeast as we head into overnight into tomorrow. So we'll time this out for you. 6 o'clock this evening. Most of this now has moved off the coast. So very short little window of opportunity to pick up some rain. We will probably get around 1/4 of an inch of rain in spots. By 8 o'clock this evening, some lingering showers just along the coastal areas. 10 o'clock, most of this is now gone, and then beautiful weather coming in behind. Drier air. This is going to be a beautiful forecast starting tomorrow. We're going to take that all the way into the weekend. Drier air, comfortable temperatures. Check it out. Our extended forecast will pull some highs in the lower 80s and lots of sunshine all the way through, although a little bit on the breezy side. We'll continue to track it for you.
Cindy, thank you. And we have some breaking news. Miami-Dade County has officially served the Dolphin Company owner of the Miami Seaquarium with a notice of eviction. Their lease agreement ended yesterday. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister is on this story, and she will have the very latest at 5. New details. A driver was arrested accused of hitting an 8-year-old child with a car. It happened at a school zone in Hallandale Beach. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray has the report.
A child was crossing Southwest 3rd Street, and in the surveillance you can see exactly what happened. A driver hit her. He did initially stop to see if she was okay. We talked to residents about what happened.
She couldn't say much. She was in shock. She was in shock, like ow, you know, like trying to. She couldn't even cry. She was just like in such shock. I knew that she was hurt. She didn't feel what really happened yet, and then I heard her screaming then after, you know, a couple minutes. Like, it really hurt.
The driver did not wait around to talk to police. Police want to talk to him. I'll tell you why residents say this was an accident waiting to happen. I'm Joan Murray in Hallandale Beach, all new at 5.
Now at 4, a small group of protesters joined together at the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office this morning. The goal is to put an end to what they call unnecessary arrests. The group PACT, or People Acting for Community Together, delivered letters to Catherine Fernandez Rundle's office. The group says they want to put an end to the arrests of people with suspended licenses due to unpaid fees and fines. They say the law unjustly punishes people who can't afford these fees.
It's incredibly devastating to have an arrest record. As I'm sure many citizens know, although many may not, when you have an arrest record, it becomes very, very difficult to function in everyday society. When people are being arrested simply because they couldn't afford to pay a fine or a fee, that to me is completely unacceptable.
The state attorney has met with PACT in the past. We reached out to her office for comment. They released a statement which said in part, the state attorney has always been in support and has championed civil citations since gaining support for this approach for juvenile offenders in 2007. To read the entire statement, just go to our website. It is cbsmiami.com. Today is Earth Day. It is a day to appreciate Mother Nature and raise awareness. Students at Miami Norland Senior High are doing their part. They spent the day planting and harvesting a school garden. CBS News Miami's Casey Sherman is at the school in Miami Gardens. She spent time with the students.
Yeah, good afternoon and happy Earth Day. I'm here at Miami Norland Senior High School where they're celebrating this Earth Day at their school garden. The members of the Key Club here, which is a service learning club, along with their teacher, Dr. Simonette, they've been building this garden from the ground up for over a year. There's been a ton of hard work that's gone into it, and boy, does it show. They've got everything from eggplant here. They've got some beautiful broccoli. My personal favorite part about this garden is what they call the poetry garden, where something interesting about that, and check out that sunflower. They actually use biodegradable paper that the students wrote poems on, planted that, and from that biodegradable paper, we have these beautiful sunflowers that are growing. So literally poetry in motion there. As we cross the garden, because we have so much more to show you, this is such a big garden. They've got a whole variety of vegetables and fruits. We've got some beautiful basil. You can see someone picking that, and I will say it smells amazing, just delicious. We've got some strawberries here, which I have heard the football players will come out and kind of pick the strawberries after practice. So that's maybe why you don't see a ton right now, but you can see a little bit of growth, some nice little cute green strawberries there. We've also got everything from celery. We've got some beautiful kale on this side here. Look at how just lush that is. Looks delicious, like you want to make a full-on salad. We've also got everything from tomatoes and some additional vegetables too. So a whole lot going on in this garden. And of course, it's not just about fruits and vegetables, which are great, but this is a living classroom where it's teaching the kids about not just science, but more importantly, how to give back to the community. We have communities, families across the area that are food insecure, and they actually are welcome to come to this garden and pick their own produce at no cost. This is what Dr. Simonette has to say about that.
It was important that my students learn about the Sustainable Development Goals. I thought it was also equally important for them to learn how to act or serve locally, and that is where students serve their community on a local level, but impacting like global issues. And so I have a Key Club, and the Key Club is a service learning club. We decided to start a garden, and here at the garden, we literally built it from the ground up. Students sustain it. We water it every single day. We harvest every other week, and they maintain the garden. And I think it's very important because it definitely falls into Sustainable Development Goal 15, where they are learning about life on land and how they can improve not only their local communities, but to impact the global issue as well.
And so all day long, the students, they've been welcome to come, not just from the Key Club, but students all across different classrooms have been welcome to come out to this garden and enjoy it and just see it for what it is and help plant, help water, help tend to it. The weather's not been too bad. It's been a little bit hot, but man, not a bad day to be maybe gathering up some of the kale, some of the lettuce, and enjoying a fresh salad. I'm Next Weather meteorologist Casey Sherman. Back to you guys.
That was just fantastic. Thank you, Casey. The Jewish holiday of Passover begins at sundown tonight. Why this year's holiday feels very different for many Jews here in South Florida and around the world when we come back. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Happening tonight, the Jewish holiday of Passover begins at sundown. But 6 months after the deadliest attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust, the holiday will feel very different. More than 130 hostages are still being held by Hamas. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein spoke to the family of one of those hostages.
I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. I remember I just started crying.
Noah Shem-Tov thinks back to the day 6 months ago when she saw videos of her cousin Omer held at gunpoint, loaded into a pickup truck, and dragged into Gaza.
At that point, everything changed, and I just felt like the world is crashing on me.
Time for their family stopped on that day.
The past 6 months, it's been just like one day. I feel like from October 7 until now, just a long day that never ends.
Noah grew up next door to 21-year-old Omer in Israel, but now lives in Aventura. She says she flew back to be with her family as soon as she could.
I don't have brothers, but he's like a brother to me. We are really, really close family.
Noah describes her cousin as happy, funny, kind. Since October 7th, a silence that is deafening. One of the largest Jewish holidays of the year, Passover, commemorates the story of the Israelites' escape from slavery in Egypt. Jews celebrate with a Seder, a meal centered around ritual, tradition, and loved ones. But nothing feels the same for Noah and her family this year.
For us, we can't really celebrate. For us, it's not a holiday. Like, we cannot celebrate without Omer.
Rabbi Yossi Harlig of the Chabad Center of Kendall and Pinecrest says he's spoken to many of the families who are still missing their loved ones.
It's pain that none of us could ever understand. It's like your life stops and you can't breathe.
A pain Noah says she holds on to, along with the hope for Omer's return.
He's the sunshine, and I feel like since he left, it's dark. They're not prisoners of war. It's a 21-year-old boy that just got kidnapped from a music festival.
And hope, the rabbi expects, will be a big part of discussions at this year's Seder table.
Light over darkness, goodness over and kindness over evil.
We have to have hope, because if we don't have hope, then we have nothing.
Noah is in Israel right now for Passover with her family, and she says they have dinner together every Friday night, and they've been leaving a seat at the table for Omer in the hopes of his return. And I've spoken to many families who say this year at Passover they'll do the same thing. They'll leave a seat at the table in honor of all the hostages who are not able to be with their families. In Miami, Terry Hornstein, CBS News, Miami.
Let's all come together and welcome our supermodels who will be rocking the runway.
All right, the runway was filled with students from the Miami Learning Experience strutting their stuff and the 31st annual fashion show. The annual fundraiser raises money for students at Miami Learning Experience. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez had the honor of hosting it. The school serves adults and children who have special needs. More than 800 people were there, and each year around $300,000 is raised. Fantastic. That is the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great Monday.